Did Blake Lively just throw some shade at Taylor Swift amid all this Justin Baldoni legal drama? Plus, Jen Shah is getting out of prison even earlier than anticipated. We have a Mormon wives tell all, and Meghan Markle got scolded by Queen Elizabeth. Lots to get into. I hope you're ready for it. Let's dive in. You're listening to No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. And dive in we shall, because we have so many updates to get into. I hope you binged the second season of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, because Jen and Miranda are on today's episode and they are ready to mention it all in my special Wives Tell All. We're talking about the Halloween party. We're talking about the Jen and Zack of it all, because obviously she's pregnant. We're talking about everything season 2. It's juicy, it's yummy, there's tea, and Jen has some fighting words. And she says, don't worry, because receipts will be shown. So I also did a very special episode with the Bravo Babe and Caitlin Marshall from Besties by Caitlin. They were both on, and we recapped all of season 2. So if you need a little refresher, if you need a little catch up, that was a bonus episode that dropped on Sunday. And now we have a lot more tea that we're going to be getting into. Also, just a reminder, guys, tour tickets are on sale now, so if you have not yet got your tickets to the Zactivated tour, I recommend you go right now. Dallas, Philly, Phoenix, Toronto, Brooklyn, Chicago, Seattle, and Los Angeles. Get your tickets now at nofilterlive.com. That's nofilterlive.com. So many fun special guests. I have Christy from Spill Sesh. I have the Sidley twins from Twin Talk on YouTube. I have Donna Bowling. I have Chef Stu. I have Giorgio Says. I have Colonel Kurtz out in Dallas, so lots of your favorite creators are going to be joining me on stage throughout the summer in all of the fun cities that we will be stopping by. Dallas, Phoenix, Philly, Toronto, Brooklyn, Chicago, Seattle, Los Angeles. Get your tickets now at nofilterlive.com. All right, what should we start with first? Meghan Markle, Blake Lively, Jen Shah. Okay, this is kind of interesting. Let's actually do a little a Housewives starter. We'll tee it up with the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Jen Shah. Do we think that Jen's actually going to return to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? So she's getting out of prison a lot sooner than we were expecting. She was originally set for release, what was it, in 2027? 2028? I think it was 2027. And then they moved it up to November 3rd, 2026, because she had good behavior. She was, hitting all of her benchmarks. She was doing really well in prison. Remember, she was doing Shaw Amazing Abs. She was teaching the other women how to work out. She was teaching some of them how to read and write. She hosted the Barbie-themed prison pageant. She was also... she had the play. Remember, they did like a Real Housewives production, like the play that all of the inmates did. That was supposed to be the Real Housewives of Texas. It was an interesting theme. But I mean, listen, Jen Shah's doing the damn thing, and she is thriving. Shockingly, who would have thought that after defrauding all of the elderly and stealing their data, that she would be doing so well in prison and getting ready to return, and maybe she's going to come back and snatch her snowflake. But she was sentenced for early release on November 3rd, 2026, which is next November. Then that got moved up to September 19th, 2026, which is nearly 2 years earlier than her original release date, because remember, I believe it was 2028. She got a year knocked off, then she got another year knocked off, so her time is just flying by. She's been in there for, 2 going on 3 years now? And yet she's already getting ready to be released soon. And so her latest release date is now set for October 4th, 2026. So just a little over a year. She's getting the years knocked off, and now she's getting the months knocked off. Interesting, right? She was initially sentenced to, 78 months? And now her release date has been moved up to October 2026. So she'll be home in time for the holidays 2026, which is just next year. Interesting. I think that's right around her birthday. And she should have celebrated her 50th birthday behind bars. And I think this year she'll be 52, if I'm not mistaken. But Jen Shah, I mean, who would have thought? Good behavior pays off, even when you are being a little shady. But Good girls do bad things sometimes, right? That's our little housewives update. Yeah. So congrats to Jen Shah. At least she's serving her time and hopefully learning something from all of the mess that she got herself into. But yeah. All right, let's move on. But before we do, I just wanted to give some love to this week's sponsor, which is Aura. Listen, if there's anything we've learned from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, it's the importance of keeping your data secure. Am I right? Well, if you've ever wondered how scammers get your phone number or why your inbox is always flooded with spam, this is why, all right? Here's the tea. There are companies called data brokers that sell your data. Cough, cough, Jen Shah. They do it without your consent, and then they make billions selling it to marketers, scammers, stalkers, housewives. And while they're legally required to remove you if you ask them, they make the process confusing and hard, and they do that on purpose. This is why I'm recommending today's sponsor, Aura, to my family and friends. And I consider you family and friends. They do the hard part, automatically removing your info from all these sites and keeping it off. That's the key part. It's not just taking it off, it's keeping it off. Aura is an all-in-one digital security. You may already have a digital security tool, but not having Aura is like locking the front door, but leaving the back door open. Okay, you get alerts if your personal info is found on the dark web, real-time fraud alerts for credit and banking, 24/7 monitoring to help you keep your identity secure. You get a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and more. It's US based. They're available around the clock. So if something goes wrong, they gotcha. Okay. One app, every layer of protection. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of getting my phone blown up by scammers. And that's why I chose Aura. Try Aura free for 14 days at Aura, A-U-R-A, Aura.com/Zack Peter, ZACKPETER. In those 2 weeks, you'll discover where your data is being exposed and sold. Okay. Don't let them take advantage of you. I'm not leaving myself vulnerable, and you shouldn't either. So join me and let's try Aura together. Go to aura.com/Zack Peter. All right, guys, be sure to check out Aura and stay tuned because hopefully we'll have some new Bravo news soon with all the new shows that they just announced. But let's divvy on over to let's talk Meghan Markle, because there was a new report that came out over the weekend about Meghan Markle being a bridezilla, which, I mean, we've heard the reports of Meghan Markle being difficult for years. People in the royal family or on the royal staff were leaking things to the press, which I know Heather McDonald had a reporter on her podcast, Juicy Scoop, a few months ago, and she was talking about how normally the royal staff doesn't leak things in the press. They try, unless it's like to stay ahead of a story, but in this case they were leaking things left and right about Meghan because she was so difficult to work with, and behind the scenes it was a disaster. Well, there's a new book that's coming out by a woman named Katie Nichol, and so her new book is called The New Royals, which I'm excited about. I think we're going to have to bring back our book club and dive more into the royals. We had fun when we read Tom Bower's Revenge. So this one's coming out soon. I'll be sure to get my hands on it, and maybe we'll break it down for our members only book club. But so anyway, in the book, they talk about Meghan Markle's wedding to Prince Harry. And I guess she flipped it. She flipped off on one of the caterers for the wedding because she wanted to make sure that all of the, or at least the cake specifically, was vegan, so there couldn't be any eggs in it. It was vegan and macrobiotic. And I guess when she was tasting the cake, she told them that she could taste egg. And so she lost it on the caterers, was upset because she had a very strict protocol. And I get it. She has a lot of famous friends, and a lot of her friends are Hollywood friends, which, I mean, makes me question how real of friends they are. But she got upset with the caterers, apparently berated them, which then made the Queen Elizabeth, she stepped in and she came in and told Meghan specifically, Meghan, in this family, we don't speak like that, which I kind of get it. It's not the best reputation when you're coming in as an American actress from the States. You're moving into the royal family. I get that they may prejudge you already right off the bat for being, an American actress. And then you're going to come in and behave like this because your cake isn't vegan and macrobiotic, which also, what sounds worse than a vegan macrobiotic cake? Like, what is it made out of, dirt and grass? Like, nothing about that sounds interesting to me. And I don't think anybody at the royal family is going to, or sorry, anybody at that royal wedding was going to enjoy that cake. It's a wedding, for God's sake. Like, at least have a little fun. I don't even normally don't eat gluten, don't eat dairy. I've now learned how to adopt more of like a 20/80 philosophy, but I'm looking forward to this book. I am. Tom Quinn also, I believe, has a new book out about the royal family that's coming out or just recently came out. And he was saying that she was nicknamed the Duchess of Difficult, which I kind of believe, before she left the royal family with Harry back in, what was it, 2020? He claims that she could be difficult when she was finding life difficult, trying to feel her way and work out the intricacies of a positive medieval labyrinth system. Meghan. Every time we get a new story, I mean, if we continue to hear the same things over and over and over, like at some point we have to start to take them with a little more legitimacy. Meghan, we see ya. We have the staffers at Spotify that are leaking about her. We have the royal staffers that are leaking about her. We have all of these royal biographers and journalists that are publishing books that have sources that are all kind of claiming the same thing. So to me, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a raging biatch. So we'll see. All right, let's talk. That's Meghan Markle. Let's talk Blake Lively, because it seems she maybe, I don't know, maybe the internet is reading too much into this, but I also feel like everything that Blake Lively is doing right now, obviously people are going to be reading into it because hello, drama, scandal, Taylor Swift. Last week, we had all of the Taylor Swift drama with Blake allegedly threatening to out their text messages and Blake's attorney demanding Taylor's attorney to issue a statement of support following the Super Bowl, because Taylor was there with Travis Kelce or supporting her boyfriend Travis Kelce. Blake was not in attendance this year. Blake was also not in attendance at Gigi Hadid's birthday party that she recently celebrated with a number of A-list stars, including Taylor Swift and Anne Hathaway. Noticeably absent was Blake Lively. Blake, however, ended up going to the Wrexham game with her husband Ryan Reynolds. So they arguably had good reason for not attending. I don't know if we would really consider that good reason or not good reason. I don't know. There's a lot to it, but she posted some things on Instagram over the weekend that I think a lot of people are feeling a little, feeling maybe a little subliminal. There may be some tea in there somewhere. But before we do, let's take a quick break to shout out our pals at the Wellness Company. Are you feeling off after the COVID vaccine? Well, you're not alone, and new research backs it up. In a groundbreaking study, risk stratisfaction for future cardiac arrest after the jab, Dr. Peter McCullough highlights an alarming rise in sudden cardiac events among young and previously healthy individuals. His study found that tiny hidden patches of heart inflammation, often missed by doctors, could silently be building up, leading to sudden heart attacks during exercise or sleep. That's why the Wellness Company created the 3-in-1 Ultimate Spike Detox, crafted with 100% natural ingredients specifically designed to help your body clear harmful spike proteins, reduce inflammation, and support heart health. Don't wait until symptoms strike. Experience the only formula approved and used by Dr. McCullough, a top freedom-fighting doctor who risked it all. Head to twc.health/nofilter and use code NOFILTER to get 15% off plus free shipping. Again, that's twc.health/nofilter and use code NOFILTER to get 15% off. Get back to that pre-COVID feeling. All right, so here are some Instagram stories that Blake Lively posted over the weekend, specifically related to, I guess it was a 90s party that was happening over the weekend. And so here's the first one. She's kind of dressed in like some 90s grunge attire. She's got the butterfly pins in her hair. She's got, what is that, an NSYNC t-shirt on. She's got her flannel tied around her waist. She's rocking the iPhone, which was not 90s, but it's okay. We'll forgive her. And then she also seems to be tagging the makeup light in this as well. Is this sponsored? Is this a brand deal? So it says, don't invite me to a 90s party if you want grunge. I live and die by glitter pop. For life. 143. I don't know what 143 stands for, but I get the for life. Oh, she also has a baby necklace on, or a necklace that says baby, and then she has a choker necklace. She has the shimmery eyeshadow. So it's very 90s, right? It's not my favorite 90s look. It's a little like pop girl 90s with like grunge 90s, and I feel like the two are kind of clashing just a little bit, but whatever. And then, so she posts this one. Okay, cute. We see that she's going to a 90s party. But this second one is the one that people are really kind of dissecting and picking apart. And so it's her wearing a Spice Girls watch. And the caption says, I've had this watch since I was 10. This is the problem for hoarders. Moments of validation when you have a reason to say, see, I knew why I kept this for 27 years. For tonight. Also, let's be real, this watch is a treasure, and my baby necklace that I've had equally as long. And so people are thinking, very similar to how Taylor Swift is always dropping Easter eggs and all these little subliminal messages. People are thinking that her new album, Karma, is going to be dropping soon, and not only are we going to get Karma, but we're also going to be, or that this was like a well thought out plan that she's been teasing for years, which is also kind of weird that like she would know exactly the date of the AMAs in 2025. I don't know how in advance those things are planned, but it does seem like something was very orchestrated with this release, or that she at least had plans for this release. But so anyway, people are reading into this for two main reasons. One, the fact that, she talks about being a hoarder, and that, moments of validation when you have a reason to say, see, I knew why I kept this. And people are thinking because there were the threats of keeping Taylor Swift's text messages for 10 years, that, maybe this is kind of a subliminal message of like, I hold on to things, I keep things, and then I will have moments of validation. So this could be like an underlying message. I don't think we would have thought too much into this type of stuff had we not learned about Nice Pool, right? Where we saw all those like hidden Easter eggs with Ryan Reynolds trolling Justin Baldoni. And even in Blake's newest film, Another Simple Favor, we see her dropping little Easter eggs like, I'm going to sue you into oblivion. That line that she uses in the movie where she tells Anna Kendrick, if you don't come to my wedding, then I guess I'll just have to sue you into oblivion, which was obviously a line that was delivered by Brian Friedman when he was on the Meghan Kelly podcast. So I think a lot of people are reading into it, but I mean, it's hard not to read into these things because at the same time, like Blake and Ryan and Taylor all have a history of doing stuff like this. They all have a history of making sure that, they drop little subliminal hints here and there. And I think had we not caught on to it, and I think Nice Pool was really the biggest piece that blew the lid on how they do this type of stuff, I don't think we would be reading into this as much as we are. Now, Steph with the deets on TikTok also had a good theory, and that's that Blake Lively is possibly posting this to hack the SEO algorithm. Now, again, we wouldn't be thinking so deeply into this stuff had we not already seen their pattern of behavior, but two, we also know that she hired Nick Shapiro, the former CIA agent, to work on her team, which obviously digital manipulation, SEO hacking could very likely be within his realm of specialty when it comes to making sure that he's protecting his client's reputation. So specifically with the fact that this is a Spice Girls watch, right? What happened over the weekend? Oh yeah, Ice Spice reportedly unfollowed Blake Lively. So Ice Spice, Spice Girls, we kind of saw this with the Michelle Trachtenberg tribute that Blake Lively posted where she used the word yummy twice, and people were thinking that she was likely using the word yummy twice so that when outlets would report on it, the word yummy would be associated with Michelle and Michelle's tribute from Blake Lively, rather than the word yummy would be associated with the yummy text message that she sent to Justin Baldoni. Remember, she calls herself a ball buster, never with teeth, and she loves yummy banter. So it is possible, right? Because the press is going to pick up on this. They're going to write about this. They're going to use certain key terms in association with Blake Lively's name so that when people Google Blake Lively Ice Spice, it's very likely that one of the things that comes up is Blake Lively rocks Spice Girls watch, for a 90s themed party. Like it ends up splitting the audience, and if more outlets pick up on it, then that kind of filters at the top of the search engine results when you Google these types of things, right? So rather than Blake Lively yummy, the text messages coming up with Justin Baldoni that she was sending him, Blake Lively yummy is likely going to then filter up to the Michelle tribute that she posted for her former Gossip Girl co-host after she passed away. So these things are very intentional. we've seen that there's a pattern of behavior with them dropping Easter eggs or putting subliminal messages in their posts. I mean, think of how often we do that, right? We post little things that are meant to be like subliminal messages to our ex or to a friend, or we post like vague quotes and whatnot. Like, we constantly do all of those things. Blake Lively, of all people, especially right now, knows that everything she posts is going to be scrutinized and picked apart. So I don't think stuff with the deets is, really out of left fields with this one. I think it's very likely, it's very possible if Ice Spice is unfollowing you and suddenly you're posting about the Spice Girls, kind of feels like maybe a Nick Shapiro CIA influenced push, CIA influenced move. I don't know, but it does make me raise some eyebrows. It does make me have some questions about the motivations here, because something about it feels a little off. But what a time. What a time. What a time. What a time. Blake Lively, we see through you. Let's see what else. Oh, Final Destination Bloodlines came out over the weekend. I'm curious what you guys thought about it. Now that we can finally talk about it, because that came out. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives came out. I also watched, what's the new Benny Skinner, Overcompensating, on Amazon Prime, okay? Because I got Amazon Prime because I wanted to watch Another Simple Favor. Well, Amazon Prime has a new show. It's called Overcompensating with Benny Skinner. A lot of people know him as Benny Drama. He became really popular because he would do the imitations of the Kardashians. I don't know if you ever saw, like on TikTok, he would do Kris Jenner, and he would have the devil hands and the horns, and Kris Jenner would always be like, he would do the parody Kris Jenner and always like trying to, manipulate the press headlines and whatnot. He was really funny. He used to do a lot of Kardashian impressions, and I don't think he's done them as much anymore. But so he wrote a new series that just premiered on Amazon Prime over the weekend. So I watched that. So those are 3 things I recommend. Overcompensating. I'm not even paid or working with Amazon Prime. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Obviously, what a great season 2. I can't wait for season 3. We talked a lot of tea, so if you've been geeking out over that, then on Sunday's bonus episode with the Bravo Babe and Caitlin from Besties by Caitlin, that was a fun episode. And then Final Destination Bloodlines. Listen, Andy and I got a special sneak peek. It was great. I love Final Destination. I think this movie helped bring back Final Destination, because I feel like number 4, the 4th film, kind of lacked a little bit. So I would highly recommend, if you didn't watch it, go watch it this weekend. If you did watch it, drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts, because there's so much to get into. There was this video that I have saved on YouTube that I'm probably going to watch later today that explains all of the different death scenes from Final Destination, and it's kind of fascinating. I don't know why. This is just one of my favorite. Is it considered a scary movie? I guess a lot of people are like, I'm scared, especially of the log scene. Which, did you guys see? It was going around social media, but I saw here in Los Angeles, they had a promotional truck, and the promo truck for Final Destination was a log truck. So it was like a real truck that had a bunch of logs on it that they were driving around the freeway, and it was to promote Final Destination, which to me was hilarious, number 1. But also number 2, like, maybe a little dangerous, because like people are gonna like want to film that or get a picture of it and be like, oh my god, look at the Final Destination truck. I don't know, but the movie was good. Bloodlines, go watch it. Good times. Celebrate good times. Come on. All right. Hopefully you did watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives Season 2, because I have a very special sit down with Jen Affleck and Miranda. Miranda's the newest mom to be joining Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I have them in my hot seat, talking to them all about the swinging scandal, about the mom talk drama, the drama with Demi and Jesse, and the Zack drama, and Jen getting back with Zack, why she took him back, what happened on Vanderpump Villa, and Marciano. So lots of tea, lots of good scoop from my interview with the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives cast. So without further ado, here is my very special Wives Tell All. Get ready. Let's go. All right, are you guys now ready to do a Mormon Wives Tell All? We've seen the first 3 episodes. They're out now, and now it's time to sit in the hot seat, because we've seen you both kind of take some heat in the first 3 episodes already.
Yes, let's do it.
Well, first, what's your take on Dakota and Taylor? We see them, their ups and downs, and I kind of feel like Dakota's not coming off the bat. Like, he still doesn't seem like he's taking accountability, and I feel like Taylor really wants to have a healthy co-parenting relationship. Yes. You have a co-parenting relationship with your ex. How did you guys make that work? Especially given Chase was also part of the scandal. Yeah.
Well, I'm not sleeping with my ex. So I think that is a big thing that makes it messier, and Taylor knows that. I think it's hard because when I chose to, close that chapter and be done with my marriage, I didn't have the same emotional attachment that Taylor is still battling, which makes it really hard, that back and forth. It can be addictive, and I see it in their relationship. It is pretty obvious that they have that cycle, and I don't think it's healthy for either one of them. And they both know that, and it's not healthy for their co-parent relationship, for their son. And I think that that's something that they will figure out. It's something they're navigating, but I don't think that it's a healthy thing for either one of them.
What did you think of Chase agreeing to come on the show?
I wasn't thrilled about it.
Yeah.
I just feel like, for me, because we do have a good co-parent relationship, I was worried about that I didn't want to risk that, jeopardizing that. And I knew that it could get messy quickly.
Yeah.
And I also feel like there are a lot of times where I am held responsible for the way that Chase reacts in situations, just by association. And I think that with our divorce being so fresh, I want to be my own person, be seen as my own person. And I know Chase is a huge advocate for that too, but I think it hasn't been a long time that we've been divorced. Yeah. So I think that was kind of a hard thing, that I didn't want that to, make the waters more murky when I'm already trying to get in the good graces of the women.
Yeah. So where do you stand? Because I feel like Taylor and Chase have conflicting stories about what really went down at the end of the swinging scandal. Where do you side with one more than the other?
I really don't care. Like, at this point, because anything that happened with Chase and Taylor, and like what was said or what wasn't said, it didn't play a role in my divorce.
Yeah.
Didn't play a role in my divorce, and it's always going to be like he said, she said. So I'm just like, I really, like, I'm so indifferent about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jen, we see you back or trying to work things out with Zack. Obviously, you're pregnant. I think we can conclude how maybe that works out, unless there is a secret donor somewhere.
Could you imagine? Plot twist!
How do you feel about, giving Zack another chance? Were there hesitations at first, and what ultimately made you want to take this next step with him?
Oh, yeah. I was hurting really bad after season 1, and I think I was questioning a lot of things, and there were just things that I didn't even realize that was happening in our relationship until season 1. And so because he was, we were just at a point in our life where a lot of changes were happening, like him going to med school and me still wanting to do the show. It definitely caused more conflict between us, but I was just kind of in a place where I was just going to do what I wanted to do. And honestly, genuinely, I was kind of in a selfish place because I felt like I'd never chosen myself.
You'd already given so much.
Yes. Yeah. And so I was kind of just at a point where I was like, you know what, I'm genuinely, like, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want, and, like, you can support me in it, and if you want to do the show, like, you can do the show. And yeah, I kind of was just making my own decisions, and he was patient, and he was still putting in effort, and I don't know what's shown in the first 3 episodes, but he definitely decided to just put our marriage first, and he's been putting our marriage first since. So,
was the fear or stigma of getting divorced in the Mormon culture, did that maybe influence you giving him another chance?
No, that was never a fear of mine. never.
Luckily, that's more normalized these days.
Yes, it's definitely way
very
more
common.
normalized. And if anything, if I were to walk away, I would have looked even better.
Yeah.
So, and I knew that, like with the public watching, everyone wanted me to divorce him. It would have been the easier thing to divorce him, the more popular thing. I feel like it has become the more popular thing to get a divorce. But in this situation, like we both hadn't given it our all in our relationship, and it wasn't fair to us or our kids to just walk away when we hadn't done the work.
Yeah.
So my relationship is a representation of like it can work out if like you still feel like there is hope and if you're willing to put in the work. But that's not the case for everyone, and I do support divorce, and I do support like if it's not meant to be, then it's not meant to be.
Yeah. I feel like Demi and Jesse were kind of like the potsters this season. They're being a little messy.
Yeah.
You know, very messy. I mean, listen, you
I'm
walked
like, oh,
into
you
a
don't even
party
know.
with everybody.
You just wait.
Just wait.
So what do you think was their motivation? I feel like at the beginning they were kind of meddling in your relationship with Zack, right? They're talking to him and telling him, oh, Jen's talking crap about you. And then they're going over to you and being like, well, you were talking shit about him. How do you feel about what their intentions were?
It was frustrating for me just because I was in a very low point in my life and I was all over the place. I was hurting really bad, especially behind closed doors. And I felt like they weren't the friends that I needed to give me or give me the support and love that I needed right after season 1. And so it was just hard because it felt like they were causing more issues than they were helping. And
Do you think they were doing that for more camera time?
yes. Honestly, they probably were, but to be honest, looking back on season 2, it really is all a blur because I was hurting so bad. And anyone who's experienced trauma or experienced a season of life that was really hard, sometimes your body literally will block out things to like protect you, and it's going to be hard watching back season 2 because I think I've forgotten a lot. But at the same time, like we're all just living and learning, and we've all made mistakes. I know I've made my mistakes, and so yeah, that's kind of how I view everything.
Me being like a big reality TV junkie, watching this play out and kind of watching how going into the season they try to make you seem like you're not honest about what really happens, and you miscategorize certain things, and you have a different flip or a different narrative. And now we do see you reference that like something may have gone down when you guys took your trip to Italy. Do you think that maybe they were trying to discredit you just in case you wanted to bring anything up about them?
Oh, absolutely. But I do think that I was caught in a lot of it, and I wasn't being fully honest with Zack at a lot of moments. And because we were struggling so bad, I didn't really know how to navigate it, and I was trying to navigate it in the best way possible. But once I was able to take a step back and reflect on everything, I was able to see where I went wrong. But definitely, I think the reason why they went so hard at me from the beginning was because they knew I carried more information than anyone else when it came to Vanderpump Villa. And till this day, specific people are still trying to make me lying about certain things the focus, when in reality it's them deflecting on other things that happen that they don't want other people to find out. But you'll just have to wait and see. Receipts will be shown later. So I look forward to that.
How do you feel about Demi and Jesse this season?
By the way, I'm Team Jesse right now. So
You're like, side note.
yes, I know. I love Jesse.
I love Jesse too.
Yeah, no, she's
love
great. I
Jessie.
love Jessie. I think
And I love watching her stir the pot.
Yes.
I was like, we need
she can be good at it.
Yes.
She's
We
great
love a
at
good Jessie Potster moment. I think there were a lot of things that I was almost a little bit indifferent about because I felt like I was still there was so much going on from season 1 that I was still catching up on. Obviously I wasn't there for Vanderpump Villa, and so I didn't have the same experience of seeing all of these things happen right before my eyes. And so I'm still kind of trying to play catch up for a good chunk. And so I think for a while I was pretty indifferent. Like I would see things here and there that I was like, I don't know, and so on. But yeah, I definitely take a more firm stance on it now. But you'll just have to stay tuned for that.
Now, the Halloween party, do you feel like that was a setup with the Chippendales dancers? I mean, I guess for both of you, I feel like you both walked into that party. You had the Chippendales
Yes.
dancers that were kind of to put you and Zack on the spot. And then you had Chase was there, Taylor was there, Dakota was there. Like that was just one. And then,
One big happy family.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
crazy.
it was chaos.
I mean, and then to see Jesse on the show be like, I didn't realize it was going to blow up the way that it did.
Right.
I was like, I knew it was going to
Yeah.
blow up the way that it did going into this party.
Right.
Yes. I mean, they had mentioned it at Jesse's salon when I was there. I just didn't. They never communicated the extent of what was happening, and Jessie has also admitted that to me. She's like, I didn't realize there would be a Chippendales dancer. I didn't know it would be the whole thing that it was until we were rehearsing the day before or the day of. And so there are a lot of things that weren't fully communicated to me. I did have an idea of like what was happening. So yeah, it was a tough place to be in because I hadn't communicated anything to Zack that any of that was happening. So when I was sitting on a seat that I didn't realize I didn't know I'd be seated on a seat, and then a Chippendales dancers walked in.
You'd
I was
be
like,
seated on the seat and he'd be seated on you.
yes, exactly. I was like, I did not realize this was what was happening.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so obviously that stirred up a lot of stuff. And but Zack and I have moved past that. If you've followed up on our journey the past couple of months, we are now active goers of Chippendales.
Yeah, right?
And we love all the strippers. And
He might
in
as well
fact,
join
now
the
we're
cast now.
yes, and now
See?
we're friends with Jay, the main
crew,
stripper. But obviously, that was not the case.
Would you let him do, because they do cameos, right? Like Vinny from Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Like they come in and do like Chippendales cameos. Would you let Zack do a summer at Chippendales?
Oh yeah,
Could you imagine? That
be
would
great.
be hilarious.
that'd be so
talk,
funny.
A Dad Talk Chippendales crossover.
Would that
Just
be
the whole
hilarious?
yeah, the whole crew is.
Miranda, do
Dad
you
talk.
think that the Chippendales thing was a setup, or do you think it was like a lighthearted, fun, let's just poke
I
fun at
definitely
Zack?
think it was more of a setup for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you were set up walking in with your Brady Bunch family?
Yeah. Not so much. I don't feel like I was really set up. But I mean, I knew the second I found out that Chase was going, I knew it probably wasn't going to end very well.
What are your thoughts on Dakota?
I mean, I feel like I've always liked Dakota, like surface level. I feel like he's a nice guy. It's just one of those things where when you hear things, like I've only ever had good, nice interactions and positive experiences with him, but then you hear things and you're like, ugh, dang, like what are you doing? Like, and that's how it is with Dakota. Is I think he has potential to be a good partner, but I just don't feel like he has it in him to show up for Taylor in the ways that she needs him to show up for her. And that's why I think that they just need to go their separate ways and just work on themselves and try to work on their co-parent relationship. And who knows what the future holds, but I think that they need to just like let go of any shred of hope right now and just co-parent.
Yeah, no more sleeping together.
Yes, no more definitely no more sleeping together. Lord knows she doesn't need another baby right now.
Do you have any relationship advice to Dakota and Taylor, or just to Taylor in general, being that she's kind of in the hot seat this season? You were in the hot seat last season.
Yeah, you know what?
She's like,
I
yeah,
don't
break
have
up.
I don't have any advice because it's their journey and they're figuring it out. And you know, for me, I'm just staying in my own lane, and I support Taylor and whatever she wants and whatever she thinks is best for her relationship. So that's where I stand with
And that's
it.
a friendship, right? Like that's the same thing that I told Jen with the whole Zack situation, is that I'm like, whether you choose to stay or go, like I will be there for you. Like it's none of my business. I don't know Zack the way that she does. I don't know Dakota the way that Taylor does. Like
Yeah.
my job as a friend is to be there throughout the decisions that they choose to make. It's none of my business. Like I'm not going to make the decision for you, and you know that they're going to make the decision regardless of anyone else anyway, right? We're all kind of like, Taylor, what are you doing? But at the end of the day, like, she needs to make the decision for herself, and so I think we're all just trying to be supportive as she goes throughout that process.
Yeah. So Whitney was the villain of season 1. Who would you say is the villain of season 2?
To me,
I thought for a second I was gonna be the villain.
Really? You did?
Yes, I was in the hot
Oh.
seat for a second.
I would have never thought that.
But yeah, no, I definitely think to me.
I think I will say I think there's shifts.
Yeah.
But I would say like the overarching theme would maybe be to me if I had to say. But I don't know. It could be close.
We haven't watched
I
it,
guess
so
we'll
we
see.
don't
Yeah,
really
we don't
know.
know.
We could be
We'll
wrong.
see. We have a bunch of episodes ahead of us. I can't wait to keep watching. Like I said, I think season 2 is, I mean, season 1's the OG season, so it's always going to be its own standalone, but I think season 2 is super juicy.
Do you think you have a villain in mind already from watching the first 3 episodes?
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably say Demi and Jesse.
Really? Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see that though. I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll
See if it stays that
Stay
way.
tuned.
Guys, you can binge Secret Lives of Mormon Wives season 2 on Hulu right now. First 3 episodes are out, which you should have already seen because we had a bunch of spoilers for you. But be sure to tune in on Hulu. Get the app, binge, and weigh in on the comments. Let us know who you think the villain is of season 2. All right. Thank you,
Sweet.
Miranda. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you so much.
for having
Thanks
us.
for having us.
Bye, guys.